There's an excursion limo sitting on the trailer here. Man, this has been something I have always wanted to buy. My plan is to diesel swap this, put either a 7.3 in there, put in a 6.0, and take it to the shows, and let's spin this thing in a circle and do burnouts. He said the speakers were sweet in this thing.
1, 2, 3.
Are you serious? What is this BS? It's the middle of April. Come on. This is ridiculous. My God. Look at it. It's the middle of April. I'm trying to go buy a truck and it's snowing. And I'm going more into the snowstorm. This is absolutely absurd. Like, it's been snowing for 5 hours and there's no blades touch this road and there's like 2 inches. I almost got stuck coming up the hill with this little car. But this is just nuts. What a way to start the day. Holy crap, guys. I was kind of scared there. I did not think that the car there was going to make it. God, I'm slipping all over the road trying to climb up these hills in this front wheel drive car. I'm kind of scared to take the trailer out because I don't want to jackknife it or something going down a hill. But luckily, I think the route I'm going did not get snow, which is nice. So getting out of here will be the worst of it. Come on, get up. But it is a good thing we have this trailer, because what we are going to get today, we are going to need almost every foot of this trailer. All the way from the front, all the way down to these back ramps to the dovetail. We're gonna need almost every foot we can get on this thing. So I'm gonna get on the road here soon. Look at this, a tree fell in the middle of the road. I'm like 5 minutes in, and then all of these kids got out of this school bus so far. And they're picking up the tree and they're gonna move it, which is kind of sweet. But I'm already like 2 hours behind. It's just never easy. When there's a big day, something I feel like it always goes wrong. And look here. It is perfect. About an hour out. It's absolutely perfect. There's no snow at all. So let's talk a little bit about what we're getting today. Obviously, you've seen the thumbnail. We're getting this excursion, which is awesome. I've always wanted an excursion to keep and drive. I've had one before that I stripped down for parts because it wasn't any good. But so it's a really, really long excursion. Basically, they cut it in half and then they put their own pieces in the middle where you hang out, where the bar is. And they weld it together and fab it together, and they get a limo out of it, which is awesome. It's a 2002, technically Ford Excursion on paper, obviously stretch limo, with a V10 Triton gas engine in it, and it's 2-wheel drive. And it's got like 200,000 miles, so that is what it is, but it's $3,000, which if you look at that, compared to a regular excursion, that's cheap. I mean, you get the extra stretch and all the stuff that goes along with it. I know it's got its completely own market, but three grand is cheap for this truck. And yeah, it's a little high mileage, but it doesn't really matter because I got some plans for the truck after we get it. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about that later in the video, but that V10 gasser is getting the boot almost immediately. And I'll just leave it at that. So let's go take a look at it. Got a little over 2 hours now, and we'll go see what we can do with this thing. Hopefully it loads up on the trailer. Like I said, the trailer I'm towing behind me is a 25 plus 5 dovetail. This truck is 27.5 feet long. The wheelbase is it's like 24, 23, somewhere in there. So it'll fit, but I hope it doesn't bottom up going up the dovetail, because it's going to be lower to the ground, obviously, with the wheelbase being so far apart. It's going to have the potential to scrape on that, so hopefully we don't run into that challenge. +400 miles later, and there's an excursion limo sitting on the trailer here. Man, this has been something I have always wanted to buy. These things are super cool. So let's check out what we got. While it's up on the trailer, it's a little easier to see it. I'll unload it in a little bit, but here's the front half. Obviously Ford Excursion with the fenders, the doors, everything up front, right? The wheels, that's an aftermarket wheel, but then it gets interesting from right here, the stretch. And then the back half, the door, the trunk, the wheel, the tailgate's back there. Man, is this a really cool vehicle. In case you didn't know how they build one of these, it came as a regular Excursion. They chop it in the middle, right behind the door here, and they fab in this section. So let's see what all that entails. I've done some research, haven't seen many people show what actually it looks like underneath here, so let's take a look. Well, right off the bat, it looks pretty clean. It's not too bad. There's a little bit of surface rust here and there. You guys down south are gonna say that that's all rot, it's garbage, but up here in the north, this is pretty good. Anyways, look at how long the frame rail is, and look at how long the cab is. Look at how long the exhaust is. Everything in the middle obviously had to be fabbed up, and the people who built the truck had a technique to doing so, as they built a bunch of these things. Well, I don't know if it's a bunch, but they built several of them, enough to probably have a method and a way to do it. But let's take a look. So here's the back of the door right here, which I would guess that they split the frame somewhere right up in here. You can see the welds there. Right there, there's the seam on the frame. You can see all of the connections on all the lines going back. And if we look up, you can see here is the factory cab up here. And then anything back is all the sheet metal and stuff from the new cab. And they have some body mounts right there. And you can see it just goes down, and they ran the floorboard, and I guess this is a custom floorboard, but they ran it and extended it all the way through. So that's pretty cool. Obviously, the guy I bought it from, I don't know who did this. I did not put that all over there. He was trying to cover up the rusty spots and try to give it more of an image to sell. So he had the Trump flags on there. He had a Trump flag or American flag on the hood, trying to cover up some of the poor body work, I guess, that was done. I don't know. I guess on this panel they Bondo it or something, body filler on top, just to make it as smooth as possible. I don't know, but that's kind of funny, isn't it? I bet you on the way home telling this, I got some crazy looks driving this, and then they see that. It gives me a good laugh too, honestly. But anyways, let's keep looking. Let's see back here where this splits. Oh, we can see here's the frame, and there's another weld right there, and then there's the Excursion factory frame back there, as well as the cab. So that's pretty interesting. It comes back here to, I guess, the stock tailpipe. It thing's got a tow hitch on it. The bumper, everything else is, of course, what you would expect. Let's take a look at this drive shaft. Whoa. How many carrier bearings are on this? Here's one. Well, there's a U-joint. I guess how many U-joints are on it? There's another U-joint. There's another carrier bearing all the way up. Okay, so there's 2 carrier bearings on here. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4 U-joints. That's kind of cool. Anyways, that's enough of looking underneath. Let's just look at the other side real quick. This thing is about 27.5 feet long, 28 feet long. 27.5, we'll go with that. And obviously the long wheelbase, the floorboards are kind of low. It's got a 2-inch lift on it. So I was really scared with this coming up this dovetail, scraping and bottoming out. So as it was coming up the ramps, I had to like build up planks of wood to get a little bit more ground clearance. But here's this side, same sort of deal. The paint is falling off on this side. He also had a flag covering this. It was parked on like a county route with the signs on it, trying to grab attention, I guess. I found it on Facebook. Yeah, same side, same sort of deal with it on this side. It's really clean. It really is. 2-wheel drive. Probably never drove in the winter. But the first thing that really caught my eyes was not the Trump stuff, was the wheels. For the price I paid, these are decent wheels that can definitely be taken off because I don't like them on here, but somebody else would love to have these on their pickup truck or something else. So definitely a good grab back at the initial money spent out in the wheels, which is awesome. But let's get down to the business of what this Excursion entails. This is a V10 gasser. All right, so kind of what you'd expect in the front. Dash, everything normal. Seat out of an Excursion. This little console overhead, I guess, yep. Kind of looking like an Excursion. Door panels, everything. And the fun part begins when you look back. Wow, that looks cool. That's where the magic is in this vehicle. That's why you buy this. That's why you rent this for your party, because of this. Especially back in 2002. I mean, this looks pretty cool. I know limos these days probably got this thing beat by a mile, but this looks really nice and cool to have a party, a tailgate, something like that, or go to a wedding or something in here. I don't know. But that's the view from the driver's seat. I don't know if there's a divider. There probably is. I think this is it right here. Somewhere. Something that like close it off so you don't see all whatever they're doing back there. But this is actually kind of like my real first time looking at it. I just got there and I kind of knew what I was getting, so we're getting it firsthand here. All right, what do we got? Center console. We got some switches. So I'm going to assume that this wire harness, everything on the front, everything for the motor, everything for the rest of it, the taillights, is all kind of factory. And then there is going to probably be a separate fuse box and everything to run all the stuff back here. Which, yeah, there's a Oh, partition, there's a bunch of different switches, so there's something in here running back to there. Cool. Let's hop out of the driver's seat because the driver probably has the most boring part in this whole thing. Let's act like we're going back into the party here. Let's step up. All right, we got green carpet. Not a big fan of that. Step up into here. We got a nice bench seat back here. It's got some cool stitching, actually. The seats are in surprisingly good shape, which, yeah, I'm kind of amazed at that. All right, we come up here. Let's see. We got our big long bench seat, L-shaped. And once again, no rips. It's a good sign. Oh man, this green carpet's getting ripped out or something. I'm gonna dye it or do something. That looks terrible. We got a nice mirror finish on the top, some trim, some lights. We got the bar right here. The bar's got a little bit of damage over here. That kind of is what it is. The little paint's flaking and stuff off of there. It looks like they did have some LED strips in here, but I mean, this is just so unique. It's gonna need a really good cleaning in here. God knows who was in here and what all happened and what spilt on the floor and whatever, but I guess you got your radio back here. That needs some work. It needs a little bit of restoration. We'll put it that way. I bought this. I knew that this wasn't going to be perfect. I knew everything about the truck wasn't going to be perfect. It's 20-something years old. It's 2002. It's a 23-year-old vehicle. And 200,000 miles. I mean, how many people do you think went in here and went 10 miles to go to a wedding or something? Probably a lot. So I knew it was going to show its age a little bit. That's not why I was really after this. I bought this because it is cool. It turns heads. And they made these things with a lot of, if not all of them, were gassers. I've only seen one 7.3 on the internet, and I have not seen any 6.0 limos. So I am assuming that they probably made these for gas for a good reason, because it's quiet. Everybody back there does not want to hear the engine. But I do. That's why I bought this. My plan is to diesel swap this, put either a 7.3 in there, put in a 6.0, which is going to be a very easy swap because everything is pretty much related because it's a Ford Excursion. It's not going to take much at all to get either of those in there. And take it to the shows, and let's spin this thing in a circle and do burnouts. That's why I bought this. Let's put a big hood stack on it. Let's take it to the shows, do burnouts. Let's go take it to the country show, put all of our friends back there, and still take it with the diesel engine in it and turn heads, put the name on the side of it. That's why I bought it, because it's so cool. Everybody's looking at it probably like, what the heck? It is. It's very unique. So, that is where I need your help. What should I do with it? Should I put a 7.3? Should I put a 6.0 in? I'm not putting a comment in, and I'm not doing any of that. It's getting one of those two motors in it, so if you would be so kind to go to the comments and let me know, what should the Donald Trump Excursion engine get in it? That would be a great help. Let's see. I'll put whatever you guys recommend the most into this. Oh! Imagine this motor in that Excursion. Oh, that would be sweet. Yeah, it's good. Let's start this thing up. It runs. It does. Doesn't have exhaust leaks. No, it runs pretty good. 207,000 miles.
You can hear the misfire a little bit.
Yeah, it's almost out of gas, but it's misfiring a little bit.
Doors are clean.
All right, let's go look at the inside real quick.
Comes with the glasses.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, the seat's in pretty good shape.
Oh, the lights are on in the roof. Look, they're on up there.
Oh, I just turned it off.
Yeah, look. You can barely see them, but they're on in the thing. Oh, that. You have the controls back there. We're trying to figure out how all the controls work, if any of them do. The air. What do you got up there?
air, hot, cold. And this is like console lighting, I think.
Yeah, I want to hear the music. Does the screen work?
Yeah.
He said the speakers were sweet in this thing.
1, 2, 3.
So we got to figure out some of the little odds and ends in there, lights and radio works, but we got to figure out some stuff with just the functions, I guess. That's cool, man. So that's the first look at the Ford Excursion Super Stretch Limo here. Got a lot of plans for this thing. Still weighing the options. Are we going to put the 7.3 or a 6.0 in it? Leaning more towards a 7.3. And a lot more stuff. We're going to lift this thing pretty high, I think. Possibly do a front clip swap right here to a later, like, newer model. And that sort of stuff. So we're going to cover some of that in more videos. So if you want to follow the channel to keep up with all of what's going on with this build, feel free. Love to have you stick along with us, and there will be more to come.